There we go. Boom, we're live. I'll bite a few minutes later, but hell, we're live. Hey everybody, and welcome. Today, we're gonna take on I think it's gonna be the last stream for this cafe, because now the only thing that we need to model out for this place is some lighting fixtures and some filler up items, just to make this thing appear more, well, more like it's used. So there we go. Alright, so for this one, I will take your guys' input on which lights we should choose, what sort of lighting fixtures and stuff like that. So this is where we are at the moment. We got the outside, we got the inside. We placed a huge logo that we made for this place on the side. Kind of think it looks kind of okay. Although I think that this logo here would be a prime example for some lighting fixture that would just come from here and just illuminate the logo, or something coming from above it and shining down, giving it a more dramatic look. This place over here, like with the overhangs, we can use them to put on some actual lights on them so it can shine down a bit, give us a more interesting look. We can use some lighting for this area. So generally, all in all, this is not a bad cafe that we made. I don't want to do the bathroom here because, well, honestly, we've done quite a bit of bathrooms in our streams. So if you want to see how we made any of the bathrooms, check out the other streams. So for now, I just want to hide some of the stuff. So first of all, let me just hide the ceiling detailing. There we go, so we can see better. I'm gonna put this thing to the side. All right. God damn, I got a bunch of screens I need to watch. All right, the chat is there. This thing is fine. Need to rearrange my. There we go. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. Cool. All right, so like always, I do have Discord up. So in the streaming related, feel free and post pretty much anything you want to add. This is from all things that we had from the last stream. So I might actually go back and pick up some of the stuff that you guys posted here. And yeah, well, one of the things that I do need to do is probably going to end up putting in some green elements here, something like foliage and stuff like that. We'll see. This thing is not going in anywhere, so no. Okay, so lighting fixtures. I'm gonna go and check out some ideas, and if you guys have pretty much anything to add, feel free and drop me a link, as we'll see what happens. All right, so let me open up a stream or a browser and go from there. All right, that's cool. No, I need a DDG, and let's go cafe lighting. All right, that's a bunch of different lighting types. Let's see, what is this? This kind of looks more like a bar lighting thing than a cafe. It's more for a dark area. We have something more down this line, but something in between. Let's see. This is not bad. This kind of looks interesting. Let's see what these guys have for lighting. So this is the one that we based everything on. or the general idea for the lighting. And theirs is pretty much, yeah, nothing too complex. Just some lights inside the walls and yeah, some recessed lights, nothing too complex. Okay, let me see if I can find something else. Alright, I see you guys are starting to share stuff. Yeah, this is not bad. This is actually something what I had in mind. So we can definitely use something like this. Keep them coming. Send me more ideas. Let's see if I can find something else as well. Hey Vitor. Hey Sad. Goran. Hey everybody. As always, I do say I apologize if I don't see a comment right away. I try to find stuff and keep an eye out for details, and keep an eye out for the chat as well. So yeah. All right, close that. This is not a bad one for the sides, but do I have anything that I can put that thing on? Not really. Nah. I see some more ideas are coming from you guys. Not really much, because this looks very industrial. Let's see if we can find something more fitting to a cafe. Cafe. Models. This is an interesting one. Barrel ones. I'm a fan of this, but won't fit in our thing. Ooh, hello. I really like this. It's kind of looks amazing, to be honest. Will something like this fit in our scene? What do you guys think? If we have something like this around... shit, I cannot put it here. It's too low. Where the hell would we put that thing? No, there is a big light over here, so it won't fit in there. This is a cool light, but I have nowhere to put it. Unless I take a couple of these and hang them up high over here, above these guys, but nah. All right, let's vote. Do we like this or no? Just say yes or no. Depending on what you guys say is if we're gonna make this or not. Go for it. I want to hear you guys. I want to see what you guys think. Do we make this or we pass on to something else? I need at least 5 of you guys to say yes or no. Alright, so we got yes, no, yes. Really? No? We got 3 no's, 2 yeses. Come on, I need more people. No. Alright, 4 no's, 2 yeses. I guess it's a no. Yeah. Alright. Hey, interesting. What about this one? This looks kind of interesting. Honeycomb chandelier light. All right. Ah man, we've made some ropes in the past. It's not a hard thing. All right, so are we going with this one? Do we like this one? And as we're voting and stuff like that, do keep sharing your ideas. I love your ideas. You guys, when you drive the designs, I love it. So yeah. Yes. Hey, can you do rigging sometimes? Okay, maybe. But I'm not the best rigger in the world. So yeah. Alright, so we got more people saying yes to this one. So why not? And I can show you that we can model something like this fairly simple and quick. Because take into account what sort of a geometry this thing is. It's a honeycomb. And from what we know, well, honeycombs are easy to create in Max, especially if you know how to. So let's go ahead and do this. So for the honeycomb, I'm not even going to make a new model, or not a new model, but a new scene. But all I'm going to do is just go and hit a plane. Crap, hold on. Let me just get my default layer in. There we go. All right, so plane. Boom, depending on how long we want it. So let's go with how many? Made 30 centimeters about. So with 60, I'm gonna hit it with 60 and 150. So this is gonna be a long light, so a big one. I do want to do is go to here, go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. All right, so let's see if it's gonna work like this. Convert this to an editable poly. Go down to our options for the polygon. Open up the generate topology. Select one of these edges like this, and hit on the honeycomb over here. Where's the honeycomb? There we go. Hive. All right, so we'll need a bigger geometry to start with. Not a bigger geometry, but more geometry to start with. So let's go with 6 with maybe 12. Okay. Now poly. Again, select this. And if this doesn't work this time again, all right. So I just need to increase the number here again to 18. All right, let's try it again. Honeycomb. All right, I think the next one is gonna be, so it's about a 1:4 ratio. So 1:4 ratio means that I'm gonna need to make this thing 12, 24, 24. All right, delete you, edit poly, honeycomb again, and there we go. So 1:4 ratio works perfect when we want to get something like this. So now I just want to go ahead, convert this to an editable poly, drop it down, and let's see what do we have here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these guys. So it's gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like this. I'm gonna put this thing on the other side so I can actually see what's going on. Oh, whoa. Wait a second. I think I just clicked off. All right. All right, let me just save this image so I can have it as a reference. All right, honeycomb. All right. Open it up. There we go. Now I have it. So I can see what the hell is going on. Alright, so if I have just these guys, I'm okay. Control I and delete. And then I can just reuse. Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna have to go ahead and detach them all. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is going on here? All right. Close this. The reason for detaching all of these is that they are not jointed at this particular piece, so I'm gonna have to manually move them around. So detach, 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 and awesome. So now I have 5 of these guys. Effect, center, 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 and center. All right, awesome. So now let me see how this thing is made. So the first one is basically missing one. So it's 20, no. 1, 2. How the hell is this thing made? So if it's like this one, no, snaps to here, no, wait a second, what? Ah yeah, it's made like this, it's okay. False alarm, like this, and this one goes to, wait, which one is it? It's this one. It's like this. All right, awesome. Now, attach all of these back together. Weld, that's fine. They're all part of the same thing now. Rotate again 25 just to get them straight, like this. Let's see. Oh. All right, that's better. All right, so if I take a look at this thing, I can see that these actually have some depth to them, and then they have an inset for the actual light. So the depth is easy to add. All you got to do is just hit it with a shell, and the shell we can just control how big we want this thing. So we can go with something like, oh, not 30, definitely not 30 centimeters. So this thing is either very, very small, or something is not right. All right, so let me just go and really, really quickly just create one cylinder just so I know how big this thing is. So the radius is, let's say 5 would be, yeah, about 10 centimeters. So let's go to 10. All right, so put it here. I'm going to scale it outwards until this is roughly about the same size as this. There we go, like this. Turn off the shell. Delete this. Go back in here, reset the X form, and just collapse it down. Now with the shell, drop it with, let's say 20, or maybe even less. Let's try with 15. Yeah, this is more in line with what we were expecting, so maybe even like 10. Yeah, that's gonna work. Edit poly on top of this, and now just select all of these guys and the one on the bottom as well, and go with the inset. Let's try with 1 centimeter, and the inside should be by polygon. There we go. And now extrude. So minus, let's say 3. All right, awesome. All right. So if I take a look at this honeycomb, it's very, very similar build to this one. So now, to make things easier, what I'm going to do is just select the ones in the bottom. Since we do want to have that opening there for a light, what I'm going to do is, first of all, save. Now, inset once. Like this. Done. I'll just, for good riddance, just inset one more time. Like this, and delete. Okay. Now select all of these on the outer edge. I'm going to go rapid tools, topology, and not geometry, not topology, and loop regularizer. Give me the perfect loops. There we go. And one more time, rapid tool, geometry, loop regularizer. Awesome. With those selected, just bring it up a bit like so. All right, let's just check and see if the chamfer is going to work well here. Okay, those are fine. Those are definitely fine. Turbo smooth on will screw up everything, so we're going to not be using turbo smooth for this, but instead select everything, clear all, auto smooth. Nope, the auto smooth is giving us a problem, so we'll just clear all. There we go. We got the beta light that's going to be caught on the corners with the lighting. No more issues. And the problem is not going to be seen at all, because bear in mind one thing. This thing has been cut out of wood. So if we actually cut this geometry anyway other than that, well, it's not going to look realistic. And with the holes that we just have, or the ones that we just made, we can just go in. Well, let's just isolate it. And in there, for some reason, now my borders here have shifted a bit to the left. So let's move them back in the middle. And for some reason, some of these got a bit of chamfer on the inside, which is less than optimal, but then again, it's not really going to be sane, so I don't really care for that. Let's go in here, put in a couple of cylinders, maybe something like this. Let's go 5.5, or I'll just round it up to 6. All right, great. I don't want this thing to have 5 segments. I'm gonna put you to 1. Come to think of it, while I was here, I definitely could have just went ahead and get all of these, delete them, and recap them. I don't really need this thing to be with geometry, because it's gonna get flattened out anyways. And of course, yeah. There we go. Now another edit poly, select everything, clear all. There you go. We no longer have that issue. So select these two. I can make this whatever size that I need it to be. Maybe something like this. And let's just make it so this is the holding for the light. Select the top, Select the bottom, scale it down, holding shift. So we get 1, 2, let's go like this. And I think this one is going to be, yeah, for the light. Let's add in a couple of cuts in here. Drop it with turbo smooth. There we go, that's the rim for the light. If we take a look at the lights over here, we have the rim, and then we have the actual lighting fixture. The lighting fixture, just so I can just continue the same geometry, what I'm going to do is get this thing, hold down shift, drag it outwards once, control click on the polygon, detach this as a clone. That's, well, actually no, I want to detach the just geometry. And what this will do is allow me to do this. Alright, and the last thing I guess would be just to put it over here and cap. Actually, before I do that, let's just do it like this. Deselect those two and bridge them like this. Turbo smooth on. Yeah, it's gonna give me those two pinnacles. I don't like those. Alright, so delete that. Hit cap. Also the cross. Yeah, we're gonna have some hang-ons here. That's not good. Let's see how those are gonna smooth out. Invisible. Almost. So if this doesn't work, we can always just go in here, sphere it up. There we go, just made a perfect sphere. And the sphere, unlike the light, we can just go in, drop in edit poly, chop off that top half. Snap it to the top in there, and there we go. Scale it downwards so it's not in the perfect position. We get that thing off. We have a perfect sphere that has no issues with the smoothing. Take the border, hold shift, drag it outwards just once. So if we put a turbo smooth on top of it, there we go. Now it's smooths perfectly. All right, awesome. Let's copy this light down the line, get everything to the gray color, make this thing a tad bit darker, and get this thing a bit lighter. All right, awesome. So I'm gonna get this to come in here, and this is what I was kind of not happy about, because this thing is not centered correctly, but there we go. We can manually just move these things a bit around. What I did is kind of screwed up a bit on the start when I was making the honeycomb. It wasn't centered perfectly, so we ended up with this sort of an issue. But anyways, nothing too big. We have this. If I take a look at my image over here, you can see that I have another honeycomb on top. It's holding up the whole thing. So for that, what I'm going to do is just save it up. All right. Now, I'm going to go down to here. Yep. Select everything. There we go, that's fine, that's fine. I do want to get that one as well. Go detach. As a clone this time. Alright, awesome. Move it up. One of these sides is going to be missing. There we go. It's the missing one. And whoa. Yeah, we got two. Alright, cap. That's fine. The chamfer. I'm going to use the same one, 0.1. I think that's the one we used. Alright. That's above. Just center it. Cool. Now we just need a couple of lines to hold this thing down. Move it in the center. For the lines, we're just going to use simple line to go from there to maybe there. Let's see where that thing is in the UVs, or not the UV, but the world space. Alright, make this renderable. Make it thinner, 0.2. Yeah, 0.2 would work. Move this thing around. So we get one on that side. Another one over on this side. This one is going to be holding down. Well, let's go to there. Select this. Drop it to maybe this side. There we go. And I want one more mirrored on what is this? Y? Yep, Y. As a copy. And just move it over until it gets to this point, like this. Move this thing here so it's kind of holding it. Alright, cool. I'm gonna get these, convert them to enable poly. So the actual geometry. And there we go. And the last thing that we do have in here is one line. That's gonna be something like this. And this is, I'm guessing, the power line for this thing. There we go. Again. It's not really gonna be seen where it goes from anywhere, but we just want to have it vaguely in the place where it's supposed to be. So put it over here. Pull it upwards until it goes in. There we go, like this. Make this thing a bit thicker, so 0.5 maybe, or maybe even 0.8. Awesome. Select the two in the middle, right click and convert them to smooth. And there we go. Very similar to what we have over here. Although I can see that these holding pins here, they're not going into the actual wood, but they're actually going up here. Well, whatever works, I guess. Now it's gonna bug me to hell, so I'm gonna have to do that. Damn it. Alright, very, very small thing, but it's a small detail. Let's just add it. So one cylinder in here. With the auto grid, I'm sure that is exactly on the actual surface. There we go, like this. Delete. Delete. Scale in. One more time. Pull it up. Couple of more edges. And a turbo smooth to get this thing to be very, very smooth. Get, snap, now this is no longer, oh well. I have to just move it like this. Let's put it like this, over here, put it in there. So now it's gonna look like it's right on top of there. I just need to get it at the Z axis to be the same right height. All right, let's just control the actual thickness or the size of this inner geometry. So I'm going to control, click, grow, scale inwards. There we go. Much, much better. So one in there. It's kind of annoying me now that it's not centered. Why is it always that the simple things take the most time? Alright, so one over here. And another one over there. Alright, awesome. So this is gonna be basically for this guy. And that's gonna be for the other one. And now we just need to move him again back to on the Z-axis. Just move him up. Make sure, yep, that's fine. It's not cutting through anything. Move it up on the Z. Alright, select those guys. Give them a more whitish color. This thing is going to get the same whitish color. And boom! I'm still missing a light, damn it. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna save and let me put a texture just so I can test it out. Of course, it's not going to be unwrapped, so the texture is going to be crap, but we can do a quick planar projection on this thing with the, well, unwrap UVW. Open the UV editor and go mapping. Flatten mapping. 45 degrees, that's fine. Click OK. And there we go. Everything is singled out, even the chamfers, which I'm not too happy about, but whatever, it's gonna work. All right, so if we take a look at this, we can see that the wood has a different side or different way that the seam goes. But if we take this, if we take a look at this thing, we can see that the wood here is going in a different line anywhere. So if we take a look at this image and we take a look, compare it to what we have, if we use the same texture, it's going to be the same thing. So there we go. This thing is fine. Let's just do the same thing over here. Clear, unwrapping. Select everything. Mapping, flatten mapping. There we go, that's good. The problem here is going to be that these guys have a different, they're a different element. So maybe the, but no, I thought that the texture density was going to be different, but it's actually not. So it's really okay. We can work with this. Okay, and de-isolate. With this light, we can put it wherever we need it. So I'm going to save. And let's see where we can put this thing. Go to group this thing to light fixture. Now we need to see where we can squeeze this thing in. Alright, unhide all. Yeah, that's gonna see. Alright, this is the top. Here the ceiling is over here, so maybe I can have one like this, just flip it around like 40. That's fine. There we go, 90 over here. Or actually put it in here, and the last one would probably be something like this. Alright, so hide my ceiling now. Alright, so we have some lighting on this side. Now let's see what we want to use for the rest. I'm going to put all of these into a separate layer. I'll call this layer a lighting fixtures. There we go. Select all of these guys and put them into the lighting fixtures. So I can hide them and unhide them very, very easy. Okay. Hide the ceiling. Ceiling details off. There we go. Awesome. Now, if I take a look at the lighting fixtures, if I hide them and unhide them, they're here. So that's cool. And Bob's our uncle on this one. It's done. Now, let's see what else can we do about this thing. What sort of lights should be put in? Like, I'm pretty sure that up here we should have some sort of a light like embedded inside the wall. Let me see if the cafe does have that thing. So this cafe that we were looking at, yeah, see? They do have some sort of a lighting on top of there, which is shining down to whoever is sitting here. So let's do something like that. We need to find another type of lighting that would hang in this place. So again, you guys need to give me some ideas. Drop your ideas down to the Discord, and we're gonna start from there. What is this? Pendant lamp, Gammy. No. This looks very, very similar to a lamp we did on the A-pillar house. So if you want to see how this thing is made, just check out that tutorial. Or not tutorial, but the live stream, hell. Alright, what is this? Hi guys, I want to learn interior lighting. Please help me. Dude, if you take a look at behind me, like right here, it says V-Ray lighting course. It's a huge orange letters with a link below. Check it out, you'll see what it is. Okay, here we go. Lighting. Now this is okay. I'm gonna put this thing to the side and let you guys browse while I'm browsing this side. And once we find something interesting, we'll go for it. Oh, you guys are going wild on this one. Just lighting, 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 lighting. Oh, okay. All right, now this one is a very interesting design, namely because I've actually seen this in live, in like real life, in a bar, and it looked amazing. But I don't think it's gonna fit in our cafe. Let's see if we can find something a bit more interesting. Ooh, hello. Now this is interesting. This is definitely interesting. I like the design. Although this can be really easily made with just texture and then use that texture to basically make this thing go from one material to the other. This is a mask, so no point in making this geometry. Whoa, hello. Can we fit something like this into our scene somewhere? Let me see. Not really there. That's a no-go. Well, we're going to be getting quite a bit of light coming from that side over there. Above it, we have, yeah, we got that overhanging there. So if we take a look at lighting fixtures is fine, but the ceiling here is going to screw up that idea. So I cannot, god damn, just get hidden. I don't know why I like that idea, but I simply don't have anywhere to put it. But it is a sweet way of lighting your scene. Recessed lighting inside that thing. No place to put it. Damn it. Fine. I guess I'm gonna have to use hanging lights for something like this. So time to go in and see what you guys. Ooh, hey. What is this? A mug holder and a lighter. This is a nice filler items for this thing. Filler item for this. Ooh, what are these? Would this thing fit in our scene? What do you guys think? What do we think about having these guys overhang over here? Put them hanging from here down. So we need 1, 2, 3 of these guys. Come on, let's see a show of hands. Who says yes? Who says no? While you guys are doing your voting, I'm just looking at other ideas. had some good ideas in here. What the fuck is this? Wow. Alright, so nice idea. Light that looks like a fan and looks like a propeller. Very cool idea. Alright, check Discord. Yeah, that light is something I picked up from your posts. Sandman. A bunch of stuff in here. Yeah, I don't like these. What the hell is that? What just happened? Ah, it's the noise that Twitch makes when somebody says following. Oh, what the? What are these? Coffee, that's fine. I'm not a pretty big fan of these types of lighting, but they have been used so much that I generally had to use them in the premium tutorial. If you've purchased it, you know that I've explained how these work, and depending on how this thing is made or what sort of a material it's made, it's basically what sort of a lighting you should expect. So I really dislike those lights. And yeah. Anyways, back to this thing. Let's really quickly make a couple of these, hang them over here. I like the fact that they do look a bit like coffee beans. So let's just fill in this spot over here. I need 3 of those, and quite honestly, that's a very simple model. All you got to do for those is just hit it with a sphere. Let's try with a 20 radius. 20, that's fine. That's a pretty good size. Pull it in here. Let's just get a reference on how big this thing is. There we go, just sit it down there. Alright. Whoa, what the hell just happened there? What? This thing just disappeared. Oh, wait a second. If this thing just disappeared, there's a pretty good chance Max is about to crash. Don't you dare. Don't you dare while I'm saving. Water grid. Alright. 0, 0, 0. There we go. Isolate this thing, and this let's just take a look at the geometry here. It's basically just a sphere sliced in two and offset a bit. So that slicing in two is the easy part. All you got to do is just go in here, rotate 90, change that red color because I'm not going to see what the hell I have selected. Go blue. Alright, that's better. Edit poly, select half of it like this. Detach, and off here, and let's go ahead and offset it on the Z for, let's try Z, I don't know how much, about 3 centimeters or 2 centimeters. Let's try -2. Yep, looks more or less right. So hold down shift, scale once inside, one more time, so it's going to the middle like this. One more edge over here so we get a sharp turn there like that. Do the same thing over here, so border, hold on shift, scale once very slightly, and then another time to just go all the way up. Click in here. And now what I can do here is, since I know that for a fact that this middle part here has a different material, like for I can see this is a metal one, what we can do is just control click on the polygon, go grow, detach. Let's try it as a clone. Now select the clone, shell it, and a very small amount, 0.1 maybe. There you go. Now with that 0.1, just isolate this thing. Alright, works well. Actually, before I put the shell, yeah, it's gonna work. I'm gonna have to do some extra edging over here so we can use a turbo smooth, but it's gonna work. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. Let's see. Turbo smooth on. 2 iterations. We get the metal piece. This thing with a turbo smooth on. Alright, make this thing white gray, make this thing dark gray. Cool, we got that. Do the same thing over here. Border, control click, grow, detach as a clone. There we go. Shell. Edit poly. Adding a couple of more edges to hold the form. One in there, another one in there. And I think that's going to be enough. It's going to push it towards 2. And de-isolate. Turbo smooth. Lighter and darker. And these two can probably offset from each other just so they're not intersecting this much. Let's go in on the top here. There we go, that's good enough of an offset from each other. Alright. Cool, let's get this thing to like something like 30. Alright, awesome. Very similar to what we have over here. See what you guys have posted. A bunch of different ideas. Yep. Mini crescent LED chandelier. I guess that's what it's called. See, they got different looks for it. So they can actually come in a combination of 2 or 3 hanging from the same thing. But in this case, we don't actually need them to go 2 or 3. We just need single ones above here. So in this case, I'm gonna go to group light, well, round light. Picture. There we go. Now I'm gonna select my tables as well, just so I roughly have an idea as to where I need to put these guys off, because I want them to be centered above the table, so like this. And before I do anything else, one last thing I want to add is I want to add one more line here. It's just simply going to connect it to the ceiling. And I'm going to leave it as a line because then I can easily manipulate it and move it to whatever height I need it to be at. And just so I'm 100% sure where this thing is at, I'm snap it to right here. There we go. So now I know it's in the center. And let's put one more sphere in here like this. And this sphere is going to be the holding cap that's going to go up on the ceiling. Now we can control how big we want this thing to be. Maybe like this. Let's go to slice on. Slice from 0 to 90. That's going to slice it on this side. You know what? Just turn this thing off. Just do the easy thing. There are ways where there are places where that thing can be helpful, and then there's this way. Simple, easy, and it gives us control as to how we wanted this thing to work. All right. All right. So control click, row, delete. Is it enough? All right, hold once, up, so it's closed. Hold it up. Turbo smooth on. It definitely should be bigger. Maybe like this. Control click, grow, and scale it downwards. Let's add in a couple of more rings in here so it doesn't screw up the geometry. Much better. It probably does have some sort of a similar gizmo down here at the bottom. So let's just do that. Mirror on the Z. A copy. And this ring should probably hold the light in place over here. All right, cool. Let me just see if I can get this thing to work a tad bit. There we go. A bit offset to follow the curve of the light, and everything is fine. Select both of those, hit them up with the gray. Everything is gray, we don't want anything else. There we go. Nothing to take away from the actual light. Alright, and de-isolate. Bring it up. And a very important thing, just so I can have some reference as to how high this thing is going to be. Like when a regular sized person or me-sized person walks in, is that thing going to be low enough so it kind of bumps its head? If this thing is high enough, yeah, for me to pass underneath, this thing is okay. So it's hanging at the right size. I'll put this thing down here. And if you're asking, this is our Uncle Bob, and Uncle Bob is 185 centimeters tall. So that's why we're using him as reference for this thing. So now, first thing, I'm going to get the group, ungroup this thing, and then select everything in here and group it as the orb light. Awesome. Save. Now, do the same thing that we did previously. Selected 3 tables. just so we know where to put it. I'm gonna center it like this, isolate, select just the light, and go. Center once, 2, 3 of these. Alright, and de-isolate. Boom, we got the hanging lights underneath here. We got the hanging lights at the entrance here. So we need some wall lights now. And we definitely need to do some lights that are gonna be pointing down. Something like spotlights. So, what do you guys think? What sort of spotlights we want to use here? What the hell is this? Now this is the weird stuff. I'm in the middle of a stream and somebody's sending me messages on the Facebook group. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm gonna have to come back to you once the stream is done. Anyways, Discord. Let's see what you guys have. Hey, hello. These are interesting, but we're looking more something as a directed light. Man, I like this. Nice holder. And these can work. I don't know why, but this place over here, this wall, since if for now we just have a placeholder for it, but if you are actually to go ahead and put some texture on it and make this thing wall, like an actual brick white wall, then it would really look well if we get some lighting going down, because when lighting hits brick, it gives us that nice ambient occlusion. It gives some depth to the wall. This is not a bad place to put on some wall lights, similar to what you guys have posted here. All right. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to find some of my own. All right, cafe spotlights. More directional lights. That thing. Spotlights is a bad word. All right, directional. Okay. Wait a second, what? Ooh, hello. So you can actually put in one of those in the middle here. You can have a directional light and then have an ambient light up here, and then it's gonna have the same exact look what we have in our scene with these small lights here. They're wooden ones, but whatever. What if we go and make these things dark, like black? It's gonna be interesting. That would definitely be a more interesting approach to this. So if I go and put some sort of that light is not gonna work here, because now we have lights here. I can just go in and put that thing up there. It's gonna be overlap of lights, so no. All right, scratch that idea. What about something like this? Well, if we take something like this, we can probably squeeze them in between over here, and it kind of starts where this thing ends. So you have just that light. You can turn around to light wherever you need it to light. So you can light to the left, to the right, straight downwards. It's a directional light. It's not fixed. It's not a bad choice. All right, what do you guys think about this one? Do we like it? Do we hate it? Do we want to see it made? Don't we want to see it made? What's the deal? Let me see if I can. Okay, hold on a sec. I actually like this one more, mainly for the reason that I can have a couple of these spread around, opposed to having them all clustered into one place. All right. If you guys don't give me any more ideas, I'm gonna go with this one. All right, directional lights. So this is the one that we're making. Right, so we can see, we can go through those and drop them in here. Coffee a day keeps the grumpy away. Yeah, I kind of forgot that I had that thing there. Alright, that's cool. That's fine. What else do we have? I just thought about something. The thing that I was kind of missing here, that I thought that I definitely wanted to fill in this place. What I can do is just put a TV in here. A huge ass TV with some sort of a rolling advertisement on it. That's gonna fill in that place, give us some extra light, and make this thing look less boring. So yeah, I like that. Plus, whoever's like sitting here, they can see what the hell is going on in on the TV. And yeah, that's going to be a good place for TV. Oh, by the way, a bit weird. It's going to be high, and the view is going to be, well, crap for whoever's sitting here, but hey, TV, why not? Okay, save this. I'm gonna go over with a new scene for the light, and then just import it in here. Reset. Yes, I want to reset everything. There we go. All right, so let's break this thing down logically and see how many pieces this thing is made out of. So we have the cylinder here, and we have another one, and we have this round piece that is basically welded to both the top and the bottom. And then we have, yeah, the main body, which is the easy part, and then we have just this hose-like thing. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. All right, let's make it. So I'm going to start off with the cylinder for the top, and I can see it probably has like a nice amount. So let's try it with the 6 sides, because from what I can see over here, it looks like it has a 6-sided rivet on the bottom there. So the radius is a bit too much, so let's try it to 5 for that small part. So that means about centimeter, about 10 diameter. So decrease this thing down to like 2, because that's a small part, and start from here. Edit poly. Now go in and delete, and let's start slowly building up. There is a small holder. There we go. Another one up. All right. All right, G to get rid of the grid. Delete that. Let's see if I can get away by using the chamfer as a base for the geometry, because I want everything, pretty much every single facet to be. There we go. That's good. What will the turbo smooth say for this? Yeah, it's gonna say no. Okay, no chamfer then. We're gonna go with the good old manual adding of edges. To make sure it holds every single edge right. All right, so in here, ring, loop, and chamfer. 0.2. Let's go with 0.1. There we go. And now with the turbo smooth, it should give us a much more smoother result. There we go. So for the top, that's actually quite all right. I think it might be a bit too small in the middle, but nothing too big as a problem. So let's just see. We compare this thing to this. Yeah, the top should be probably a bit lower. I don't need to go all the way up, so maybe like this. Okay. So next thing, that connector. Move this thing to the 0, 0, 0. The connector is a cylinder. All right, go to 0, 0, 0. Move it down. Make it smaller radius. There we go. We do need this thing to have more segments. This is not going to be a six-sided cylinder, so let's go with 18. All right, decrease the radius so we just know it goes in like this. That's fine. Edit poly. Alright, that's cool. And now I know for a fact that here in the top or in the bottom of this thing I have another element, which is this element. And come to think of it, what I could have done for this at least is just go in, create one sphere. I'm probably going to end up doing that to begin with. So like this. So go to 4.5. Now move it down to about here and just do this. Edit poly. Delete this. Hold on shift and just extend it upwards. So this way I have a perfect meld between the two geometries. There we go. And over here on the bottom, again, so this thing is going to be touching with the bottom or the base for that light. I'm going to just cap it off from there, just so we make it a more interesting look. Over here, I'm going to go ahead through it once, hold on shift twice, and then just do this, adding a couple of more. Alright, grow. Actually, that's going to be fine. Turbo smooth. That's adding a couple of more edges over there so it's not breaking up anything. Alright, cool. So we got this piece over here, this piece over there. For this place where it's basically just connecting, I just want to have one more edge in there. This one can go in and extrude inwards. There we go. So we get that similar look like we have it over here. And now the next thing that we do want to add is that arc that we have over here. So for the arc, what am I going to do for this? I'm going to do is, yeah, cylinder. Cylinder will work. So let's go with, that's fine. So go 15 with a height of, let's say 2. The reason why I chose to go with a cylinder is that from it I can extract the base form for this. So what I want to do is just go in here, select this. Bear in mind I'm not selecting the ones on the top, just delete those. And now with this selection, just make it so it's as wide as we need it to. There you go, we have them both. And extract this bottom part here as low as we need it to go, basically like this. Now shell, make shell on the other side, shell on the inside. There we go, very good. Now put in some extra edges to hold the form here. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. Just need a couple of more on the bottom. And once we put on the turbo smooth, it's going to smooth this thing up. And just about shows me that I need to make this thing slightly bit bigger, like this. Or what I can do is just go in here under the edit poly, put it here, deselect those, pull it downwards, deselect those, pull it down, just so it's kind of flattening up to the surface. What I can probably also do is use one of the tools to make this thing conform, but it's a simple conform, so just manually fixing this thing is gonna be just fine. No need to go and do fancy stuff. There we go. Awesome. Now it even looks like this thing has been welded. It has that bit of a lip there. Okay, so get everything the same color. Great. Let's do the light casing. Now for this one, this is not actually that complex. All I gotta do is just draw out a line for the shape. And since I don't have the actual thing, I'm gonna have to improvise a bit. So I'm gonna have to go about here, and then go to here, here, and here, 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 here. Disregard the fact that this thing looks a bit wonky right now, because I'm just drawing out the lines, because as soon as I have the lines, then I can go ahead and manually place them all in the right position and change the form. Alright, so once I have this, now I need to make it so that these vertices are in the right position. First I'm going to do is just move them all. Oops, this one as well. Alright, so to about here, so you are going to get to be smooth. You two, let's see, smooth. Yeah, if I take a look at this thing, I can see that it doesn't have any sharp edges. Maybe just the one on top here. So everything else should be pretty smooth. So even this one. So let's go with smooth. Smooth. Like I said, the only thing that I see as a sharp edge is probably this one. So for that one, what I'm going to have to do is go in and refine this and put in just one more. Go flat on the X. There we go, like this. So now smooth. I was going to click over there. That's okay. Let's see if we smooth this thing out, how it's going to look. Yeah, much better. Smooth again. Smooth. All right, awesome. And for this one, I think I'm just gonna fillet it. No, I'm not gonna fillet, but instead I'm gonna chamfer it. It's just so I want to have a sharp turn there. There we go. So what I was doing right now is I was making the shape for the lathe modifier. So once I put it on the lathe, you know, with the minimum, so I want it to be over there, flip the normals, and I get something similar to what we have over here. Now it's a far fetch from what we have here, but since we don't have the actual light form, I had to improvise, and well, looks okay. So for this one, I'm going to do is affect the pivot, center it to the center. And again, in here, I'm going to go ahead, center to object, and align this center to the center. So X, Y, and Z. There we go. So now for a fact that it's in the middle. I want to make sure that it's not touching the frame on any point. And definitely should be Fine. Yeah, but there is a bit of a problem here that I just saw. This thing is okay, but this needs to be smaller. So let's just move it upwards. And the great thing about working with splines is that they're very non-destructive. You can move them around as much as you want, and the form will stay that way. So select this, move it upwards. All right, like this. Let's see, maybe if we go, instead of a dip here, to go in something like this. All right, looks better. Taper it in. Okay, better. Now for this one, I need this thing to continue on downwards. Well, first of all, let me just fix the weld core. Yeah, there we go. And from here, edit poly, select the center vertex in here. Control click on the polygon. All right, grow once, detach. As a clone, that's fine. And the reason for doing that is just so I can continue working from this. All right, bring this thing down. And this is going to be the main base for our light. Should probably go to about here and flails out. Pull it down. Shift down one more time. Goes in. There we go. And here is where we have the light. And for the light, I'm actually gonna just import this thing as without the light inside our scene. And I'm gonna go ahead and take the light away from what we just did on the overhang lights, because the middle one is pretty much the same thing. So no point in doing that thing twice. All right. This one, I just need to add in a couple of more. Oh hell. Let's make sure that this thing tucks in underneath the top. So scale this thing inwards. One there, one there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, drop, turbo smooth on. 2 iterations. Turbo smooth on, 2 iterations. The last thing that I do have for this is on the side, I need to have a few cylinders to hold this thing in position. Alright, where are the cylinders? There we go. Rotate around, oops, rotate 90 degrees. Alright, cool. Pull it in. Delete that. Move it just in. We don't really care. We don't see that thing. This one, I can see that there is some sort of a hole in here. So hold on, shift once, then hold out twice, 3 times, pull it in once, and then goes all the way up here. one edge in there. Turbo smooth on. Actually, just as a small portion or a small detail, I'm actually going to remove this and then add a couple of extra edges here. It's going to give me a more chamfered look on the edge. I'm happy with how that looks. Make it a darker look. There we go. All right. Mirror it on the X as a copy, of course. Let's see. Close enough. Just a bit of tightening. All right, get this thing to go to center, and I want to have, well, generally I can turn off the turbo smooth here. Turn on the turbo smooth here. Go ahead and attach both of these together. They're gonna still be this separate element, but with the turbo smooth on, and I can go ahead and affect the pivot only and align the pivot of this element to the pivot of this element. So go pivot to pivot. There we go. So now when I try to rotate this thing, it should rotate on the right exact place, so it's not hitting anything. It can rotate around. Awesome. All right, cool. It's a bit, I think it's a bit longer than what this thing is, but it's the same way that this thing is built. So if I actually had the shape for this, I would just follow along with the right line, and that would give me the right position for the lathe modifier. There we go. This is okay for now. Now, let's save this. Holy crap, I just realized that we haven't saved at all. If Max decided to crash, that would have been it. Twitch, cafe style, and it's going to be the directed light. All right, awesome. So cafe scene. That's good. Import our merge file. Let's see. The size is right. Oh yeah, like I said, over from this side, I want to borrow one of my lights. So I'm going to go in, open the group. All right, copy this thing from the group. Damn it, delete the group. Go again. Just honey light. There we go. This thing goes all the way to wherever my other light is, which is over here. All right, so I guess I'm gonna have to move it like this. It's gonna be a bit bigger. Alright, so this one, turn off the turbo smooth, turn off the turbo smooth. This one, turn off the turbo smooth. Edit poly is fine. Attach, attach. Now turn back to turbo smooth. The reason for doing this in this manner is so that now when I rotate, that lower portion or the light here stays stuck to this thing. So there we go. Awesome. Save this. Now let's place it into our scene and see how big this thing is first. Yeah, I think it's a bit too big right now, so I'm gonna have to go in and scale it down to 50%. And before we do anything else, let's see if it's gonna fit in here. Nope. So scale it in even further. Let's check and see. Yeah, I think at this size is actually gonna fit. There we go. That's enough. So we can have 1, 2, 3, and a 4. And the interesting thing is that if I select all of these and I rotate, oh yeah, I thought that this wasn't really going to work with the pivot here, but it's really not that. Well, actually, just select this one as well. So when I rotate, yeah, is this thing gonna? Nah, it is. It's gonna make a problem. So we're not gonna screw with that. Just move this. This is very, very tiny detail. Probably won't be seen. The way to go around this would be just to get all of these in the same group, or make them pretty much the same model, and move the working pivot up here, so it's kind of rotating from the same place, but I'm okay with how it looks like right now. So just move one in there. This one, I want to select these guys off, rotate maybe towards the bar. This one can get rotated towards this place here, so which is, yeah, the walkway in here. And this guy can be rotated toward, no, this one can be rotated towards the seating arrangement in the back. All right, and I can probably do one more thing, and that is, first we'll try to select these guys, because can't see crap without this thing. So let's get rid of the ceiling construction. Select that, select that, select this, and select this. Again, let's just group them together. Single lights, unhide all, yes, hide the ceiling. Now, having these, what I can do is now just hold on shift. Maybe just make one more copy over here, like so. And there we go. Now we got plenty of lights where we can just focus it anywhere that we might need them. We can go in and manually rotate them to wherever we want to have lights, but I think that we have ample amount of light that would light up this area, especially with these spotlights. These ambient lights here, or the spherical lights, they're going to give us off some nice passive light. These guys have some nice directional light going downwards. We get some nice light coming from this element, which is going to be self-illuminated, and which is basically a neon light. So all in all, we're going to have some nice light in here. And generally around the bar, what you would want is maybe something similar to what the guys had in that bar that we were looking at. If we take a look at the bottom here, you can see that underneath here there is some sort of either an LED light, which kind of gives it off a nice accenting look, and they have another light behind this place. So if we put that thing into consideration, we can have the same light in here, and if I'm not mistaken, we even put in the geometry for it. There we go. So we have the geometry for that light to go in here. So if we put on any sort of a light, it's gonna illuminate the base, accent the whole thing quite well. And then another light behind this part will accent this area a lot better. And with that, I think we have, well, yeah, lit up this bar. Well, not a bar, but a cafe quite well. We still haven't decided what we wanted this thing to be, but honestly, it can be a storage room. We can just put pretty much any sort of a door there and cap it off. We do need a door here for the bathroom, but then again, like I said, I really don't want to do the whole bathroom again. We've done that thing on multiple streams so far. So if you want to see how that was done, just go ahead and check one of the older streams. So for now, I think that we have quite a bit finished on this stream. And since you guys are not too chatty about where we want to go from here with this stream, I'm either gonna call this one finished, or maybe if you guys drop in any ideas up on the Discord channel, from there we can pick it up. But other than that, modeling wise for this thing, I don't see there's gonna be much more that we can put in, except like things that you would just use to populate the bar, like utensils, like maybe some sort of a bottle or glasses, whatever. That's filler items. So for big items, I think we're well done. Yeah, we do need to have a door, but then again, we've pretty much done a lot of doors. And with this thing, with the ceiling, let's just put on a shelf for the ceiling. So 0, 5, just so it's has some thickness. There we go. And once you walk into the bar, you're greeted by the, god damn it, this sign says coffee, espresso, chai, tea, and cocoa, extras, and everything. Turn all over to the other side. You have a coffee that keeps the grumpy away. You have the bathroom. You have a place where you can sit down. You're greeted with a huge ass logo on the side, some neat sitting arrangements. Then you have the bar. So pretty much not a bad design. And on the outside, you can just chill out, have your coffee. It's walled off nicely. So like I said, generally I would call this, modeling wise, a finished project. If you want to go ahead and add in some extra details, you can always do that. you can start adding in fancy door, but then again, those are all gonna be accents, because the main thing here is that, well, all the major things have been done, so not much else that we can do. So having said that, I will end this stream. There's no point in going on for another 10 minutes because we don't actually have much to do. I would like to thank everybody that was with me today on this stream. We had some fun ideas. You guys placed some good items. We created them, and well, we are finished. Next time we'll see what we could go with. I have no idea. I'm probably going to ask you guys to give me some ideas in the YouTube channel. I'm going to send out a simple voting poll. You guys can vote and tell me what you want to do for the next streams, or even if you want to have a next stream. So again, I'm just going to say it. Thank you for being with me. It was a fun thing. And well, the thing that I say always before I end is peace.